Welcome back to Pushing the Pile. Mike Renner, Kyle Long, and we have Braxton Berrios joining the desk. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Thank you guys for having me.
How's the car wash been?
It's been good.
Head spinning a little?
Yeah, I think we're about halfway.
Okay.
That's good.
Oh,
we're warmed up, ready to go.
I got to chime in, though. He looks better and smells better than anybody I've walked by today. He came over here.
I
just got the air of greatness. Like, you came over here, and I was like, you can sit next to me anytime you want.
That makes me feel very comfortable.
So we're sitting next to a Super Bowl champion. You were with the 2018 Patriots. You unfortunately were on IR at the time. We were actually talking yesterday. We saw Lewis Seen, back end of the roster guy, getting into an Uber. Do the back end of the roster guys, practice squatters, IR guys, are they like letting it loose Super Bowl week? Is this kind of like a fun time for them, or do they have to keep it tame? Do they still have to?
No, I think you keep it tame. You know, I think the biggest part about it is going into it. It's like, you know, your coach sets the stage. You're like, we're still here for football. It's going to be a show, right? Like, there's gonna be so much things going on. It's gonna be a circus, but like, we're still here for football. Keep that the main thing. So no, I think they're, you know, like we were. I think they're pretty honed in.
Okay, you were with the Dolphins this past year, heading into free agency. What was going through your mind when we saw that Tyreek Hill interview at the end of the year? What was that?
Yeah, I think it's tough. You know, I think, of course, you know, the season ended right there. You know, you're frustrated. A lot of different things happen, and you know, it's just you're not happy with anything. You know, he obviously, you know, kind of walked back and, you know, apologized for the things he said. It was out of competitive spirit, or, you know, but you hate that as his teammate, right? Because, you know, you just went to war, you know, since late July, and, you know, the first minute after those things get said. So the good thing is, you know, we've been with him, we know him, and, you know, he walked it back. So we took it for what it is and kind of pushed it past.
So you said before you were not only a Miami Dolphins fan growing up, but you were a University of Miami fan. Obviously, you played for both now. Should Cam Ward be the #1 overall pick? What are your thoughts on that, man?
You know, I don't know about that. I haven't done enough research around all the other prospects.
Yeah.
I think he's a stud. He had a phenomenal year, obviously. Tremendous athlete, can create, you know, post play, can run the ball. I mean, he really has everything it takes. If he's the #1 pick, I think is a different question. But I think he's going to be a good player in this league.
How many yards were you putting up if you had Cam Ward at quarterback? You had 679 last year.
That would have been.
What kind of numbers were you putting up?
I don't know. That would have been a different year. I mean, I'm hoping 1,000. I mean, just the scrambling, the after, and all the things they did. I mean, that offense, you know, at its best, and really for most of the year, I mean, was pretty unstoppable. You know, if they had a, you know, average defense, they would have been in the playoff.
When I think unstoppable, I think about I spent 1 year in Kansas City at the end of my career, and I was on IR for most of it. It was Tyreek's last year in Kansas City, the year that Burrow and Jamar went crazy at Arrowhead, and they started calling it Burrowhead. First off, disrespectful.
Crazy.
Mad disrespectful.
Crazy. Off one game.
And people were like, well, there goes the biggest club in Patrick Mahomes' bag, the driver. That's Tyreek Hill. Take the top off the defense. What is it that stands out to you most about that Chiefs offense that is able to always change, always adapt to whatever the scenario is? What stands out to you the most about Andy Reid's offense with Patrick Mahomes?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you look at the season, right, and they've had a decent amount of injuries, right? Like a lot of playmakers on IR, and somehow, some way, they find a way to plug and play. And I think they do a great job of, letting Mahomes be Mahomes, right? You know, like, let him call the game, let him do his magic. But also, I think they have an incredible system of, you know, everybody knows kind of their role, and when, you know, a role opens up, you go fill it. And nobody has to do anything extraordinary because they have so many good playmakers. And at the end of the day, when everything breaks down, you have one of the best in Mahomes, one of the best in Travis, and those are your 1-2 punch on scramble drill. And, you know, it's amazing that the way that they've have not missed a stride with all the stuff that they've had going on this year. It's very impressive.
And one guy we've seen emerge as a real star, obviously we saw Rashee Rice have a ton of success, but he was taken from us early in the season. Hollywood Brown was in the training room.
Same thing.
Xavier Worthy, though, came around in a big way in the AFC Championship. What stands out to you about his game?
I mean, obviously, he first and foremost, everybody says he's fast. But I think the same thing. I think, you know, he comes out of college and you know what he does great, and they let him do that. And they find different ways to get the ball in his hands and let him go be a playmaker. And I think that's what it is. You know, I don't think the scheme is anything crazy with the Chiefs, you know, but I think they get their playmakers the ball in space and let them do the rest. And it's just, you know, it's a lot of quick stuff, get it out of his hands, don't get sacked. And then again, scramble drill. They're one of the best in the league at it.
I often said when I was sitting in those offensive meetings, because I was an offensive guard and offensive tackle, I always said the game that you're playing out there, it's a completely different game. It's not that, I don't have a respect for what you guys are doing, because you're coming down and digging guys out and crack blocking front side and going and stalking a safety. Like, I see that, and I respect it. Was there ever a time where you're like, is there an instance in your mind where you can remember saying, God, that game inside is so much different, I don't want to play it? Was there one specific time?
I don't know about specific time. In college, I lived with 3 linemen, 3 offensive linemen. So, like, after, again, like camp, like my hamstrings, right? My legs are done. They're just upper body is crushed. And it's just like you really, and, would watch film together, obviously. So we'd watch the last game, on Sunday, we'd be sitting in the living room. And for the first time, really, I'm looking at what they do, because they're like, hey, like, watch him, he picks me, da-da-da. And you're like, wow, that is a different game. And they just, every single play, get after it. Yeah. And I have all the respect in the world for them, because, like you said, we block, we can go across the middle, we can get lit up. But you guys, every single play, strain.
Yeah, but I don't want to get hit like you guys do.
That's fair.
The coach, my high school coach, let me line up in the dot one time.
Okay.
And I took the handoff, and it was in a goal line situation in practice. And the guy who lit me up below my knees was the guy who I took the carry from. He was our running back. He was at safety in this drill. Lit me up. And I remember I went to the sideline. I was like, do not ever give me the ball again.
Yeah. No, it's amazing that, like, you look at the body type of a nose tackle, and then you look at called a slot receiver, and it's like these two people, they play the same game. Yeah. Like, his job is to tackle him, and my job is to do everything I can not to get tackled by him. Let's take a cornerback, let's take a safety, maybe an outside linebacker, but, like, especially screens, like, don't cut back. Like, do not go inside. Like, that's dangerous.
All right, we had to ask you about this. You and your girlfriend, Alex Earl, famously have over 7 million combined followers on TikTok.
Most hers.
She has most of those?
Yep.
How was the mood in the household when TikTok was set to be banned a couple weeks ago? What was that like?
I think you can go to her page, and that will explain everything. It was absolute mayhem. Yes, it was mayhem.
What was when it got relieved? What was like? Surprise!
I said, I told you. I said, go check it. It's back up. Like, we're good. Like, you're okay. No, it was not a fun time. Very worrisome, but I was reassuring. You're gonna be good. It's coming back. It's not going away. And luckily it did.
I love social media. It's a huge part of. It's been a huge part of my career. I got on Twitter in 2012.
Twitter was
and I had
OG.
a number of head coaches and GMs that were like, "You can't tweet that," or like, "You need to take that down." And I've probably had a lot of money go out of my bank account.
You're gonna say, have you got better about that?
Because of Twitter, I've gotten a lot better about that. I still need some work.
Hey, you're here now.
I think me and Mike are gonna do a get ready with me maybe tomorrow.
I would actually love to see.
Do you have any tips?
Let's
get ready with me.
Absolutely. Just tell a story. Like, that's it. Like, tell whatever it is. Tell a story. And really, like, we know what we're doing, but, like, your whole audience, like, they have no idea what the back end of all this is. They see you on TV and all that, but they don't know the back end. So, like, you tell a story that, you all of a sudden become convicting, and then you gain more and more followers.
Yeah, you become
distraction rolls.
You become human.
Exactly.
Like, they have to get ready too.
Yeah, one leg in the pant first,
dude.
It's unbelievable.
Or like I chafe a lot, so I've been putting on the chub rub on my thighs.
Chub rub. See,
chub
like that's
it's like Vaseline.
Sponsorship.
Okay.
Right? Like they immediately hear that they're gonna come to you. But B, like,
but I can't
I'm sure
show
there's a lot.
that application.
Not show it, but you can tell
it. Is chub rub like a brand name, or is that just
chub
what
rub.
you're putting it on?
Chub rub.
I was wondering the same thing.
I don't know what that is.
No, it is. It's like a little stick.
But the other thing is, you realize in the internet world, internet community, how many people have the same exact things or like live the same life as you. Like, there's so many people who'd be like, dude, same. Like, I didn't know you struggled with that too. Yeah.
Or, wow, that's how I measure my coffee grinds too. Like some obscure thing.
Yeah, something like that. That's.
All right, we're gonna put you on the spot.
Or not.
We're gonna show some photos here to you of you, and we're gonna ask what was going through your mind in the moment. All right. First one.
That was my high school jersey retirement like 2 weeks ago. I was very proud of myself. I think that was like the coolest thing in the world for me to like have my high school jersey retired and to be the only one at my high school. Like, that was cool.
Kyle, did you get your jersey retired?
Yeah, actually, I got it retired way later, like you. Retired? I got it way later. Yeah. My older brother Chris got his like while he was in high school.
That's kind of crazy.
So I spent my whole NFL career like my coach hated me. Enough. Yeah, my coach hated me, but. Everybody's always talking about you got to protect your inner child, and I think that's really important.
Yes.
To listen to that little kid in there and to heal anything. that is like the biggest inner child moment, is to
Absolutely.
get that validation for when
Fully.
you were that age. You get your jersey, you get the standing ovation from the people at your high school. Were there any, like, was there a specific teacher that you saw and you were so happy to see him?
There was actually great story. Miss Dobbins, never forget it, 9th grade biology. I had a 92.3. We were on a 7-point scale. I obviously walk in there and I say, Miss Dobbins, like, could I, like, give me a 0.2, 92.5, it rolls up to a 93. She shut me down, said no shot, right? So didn't give me the bump over 0.2. So I'm literally sitting there before I'm about to go on and take a speech, and I turn to my left and I see Miss Dobbins. I look at her and I said, I still remember. And I go, I'm going to tell everybody.
Yep.
So obviously unscripted, I go up there. That's the first thing I said. I said, everybody give it up for Miss Dobbins. Like, she didn't give me 0.2.
She didn't
gave
roll
me
my
a B.
point forward.
Literally. Yeah. So that was like one of like those cool like high school moments that you don't think about until, you know, you're back.
I was trying to go from D to C.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
68 to 72. Get me to 72.
Everything's relative, right?
I'm just over here trying to get my jersey retired. Only one at the booth who doesn't have it, unfortunately.
Yeah, whatever high school, exactly.
Uni High. Come on, let's
do
go.
your petition right now.
Braxton, thanks so much, buddy.
Thank you so much, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, guys.